I think that cognac is the best.
You mean cognac?
You can't even say it right, Joe.
You can't say it right, but you're arguing that it's better.
Yeah,
than
what the heck is happening with that?
Come on.
No, it does not taste better,
It tastes
okay? You know what? I'm trying to other drinks on it.
talking about it.
I don't even know why exactly. No, but this is staying gross.
So we're going to talk about Carnage now?
Yeah, I think I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm still thinking about funny games.
2 different movies. Get on the right track.
Is this one where the little kid gets a shotgun to the face?
What?
No, he gets a stick to the face.
Stick to the face.
Funny Games is my favorite comedy.
It's funny, right?
Of course.
Carnage is just kind of depressing.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
Until when Kate Winslet tosses her cookies.
Go get a bucket.
Yeah, I guess.
Following a verbal dispute in Brooklyn Bridge Park, Zachary Cowan, age 11, and armed with a stick, struck our son, Ethan Longstreet, in the face. In addition to the swelling and bruising of Ethan's upper lip, this act also resulted in 2 broken incisors, including nerve damage to the right incisor.
Armed?
Armed, but you don't like armed? Michael, what can we say?
Carrying a stick, all right?
Carrying, yeah.
Carrying a stick.
Carnage is a film in which 2 sets of couples argue over a fight their children got into and end up becoming worse than the children themselves. And they drink a lot and puke on our books, too.
So, Alex.
Mm-hmm. Joe, yeah?
Why we watch this movie?
I don't really know. Because we couldn't find Two Lane Blacktop online. So we watched Carnage instead.
Yeah.
How was Zardoz?
You keep bringing that movie up. Why?
At this point, we're never going to watch it.
I've never seen it, actually. You're the only person who's seen Zardoz.
I'm the only person who saw it, and I'm like baffled by it. Like, how did this movie even get funded? Pretty much orgies and Sean Connery in a red like bikini jumpsuit, just like walking around in boots and shooting up people and. So why didn't you watch it?
What? I was thinking about Carnage. What are you guys talking about?
Let's just say Carnage, yeah.
Yeah.
So, what is it about, though?
It's kind of like just a character study between the 2 sets of parents and their dynamics between each other and between their spouses and whatnot. Pissing each other off and getting pissed off.
And getting drunk.
No. I want to drink some more. I want to get drunk off my ass.
They get drunk, by the way. Can I just point this out? They get drunk really quickly.
I am glad our son kicked the out of your son, and I wiped my ass with your human rights.
Wow. Get a couple drinks in her and bam!
I love how they segue into it. It's like, man, we're just so angry at each other. Hey, let's get drunk now.
Yeah.
You want a scotch? Yeah, I'm gonna have a scotch.
They do have a lot of scotch in a short amount of time, though.
Yeah.
And they won't stop talking about how good the scotch is.
That's all they'll talk about afterwards.
We got scotch.
And I'm...
Yeah.
Canadian
scotch.
This is a great scotch.
It is a great scotch.
This is like so good.
Scotch. Yes.
This is based off a play, and I haven't read the original play, and it's been translated from some other language. Now, in something like a play, you feel like there's almost a sense of audience participation, where it doesn't have to be realistic because there's nothing between you and the actors on stage.
Right,
You're always aware that you're watching a play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, with a movie, you want to escape into the world of the movie. You want to forget that you're watching a movie.
Right.
But with a movie like Carnage, where everything else is kind of more realistic, it's on a serious topic about parenting and how your relationship to your spouse affects the way that you raise your kid. and the dialogue still sounds like it's coming out of a play, and it never quite seems naturalistic. And for instance, you have Christoph Waltz's character, who is a joy to watch on camera. I love Christoph
he
Waltz
is
in this film.
excellent in this film.
Oh, lack of balance, jerky gait. The work is basically you look like you're drunk.
His character is the sort of person that you'd see in real life. He's just kind of an asshole, talks to his phone a lot, doesn't care about anything. And then all of a sudden he philosophizes about the god of Carnage. And it feels very forced in there, like no one really talks like this.
Penelope, I believe in the god of Carnage. The god whose rule has been unchallenged since time immemorial. You're interested in Africa, right? What's the matter?
Yeah, that line, that part is absolutely kind of just out of place and doesn't really fit the whole setting. And while I do agree that the dialogue, the lines are a bit hammed up, I don't think it's a bad thing for the film. If the dialogue was a lot more ordinary and a lot more casual, I don't think it would have been more interesting, or just really as interesting to watch, especially considering it's all just in one room. I feel like hamming the dialogue up a little bit more, making it, in my opinion, a little bit more interesting to listen to and to watch, I think that helped the movie overall.
So where does doodle come from?
Sorry.
Yankee Doodle or Cheese Doodle?
From
or...
a song from Guys and Dolls that goes doodle oodle oodle oo.
Oh, yeah, I know that one. I love you, a Bush Lenapeck. You got your pretty neck, I do. Doodle oodle doo.
I'm just gonna actually say off that this is the most unlikely cast I would see in a film at all.
It's a good cast, though.
It's a good cast.
Great cast.
You have Kate Winslet, Christoph Waltz, John C. Reilly, and Jodie Foster. All four of those are very different actors, and yet somehow they're in the same movie.
I you know what's funny? Before I was watching this, I was thinking the one oddball in this movie that makes it feel like that is John C. Reilly.
Yeah, he
He's
is.
a good actor.
He is a
I
good
think he
actor.
fits incredibly well within the dynamic, and because he doesn't come from the same not entirely the same background as everyone else, he kind of plays a little bit of a different character, so he brings a different sort of tone to the scenes.
Although I think all of us can agree, the one person that just was really
Jodie Foster.
Yep,
Yeah.
basically. Jodie Foster.
He was good, but
One day you will understand the sheer horror of what's happening in that part of the world, and you will be ashamed. You will be ashamed of your contemptibly nihilistic attitude.
Yes, Darjeeling, you're so wonderful. You're the best and the brightest.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
And to be fair, I might not have noticed the writing as much if Jodie Foster hadn't been playing up this persona of the upper class, very liberal mom who cares so much about the finer things, and her drawing attention to that writing drew attention to the dialogue in the whole film to me. But at least with the other actors, I can't say that this film was boring to watch. It was very entertaining. I was interested in it the whole way through. I can't say I was completely invested in it, but I was interested in seeing where is this going, and I enjoy watching these characters. I liked the idea of these parents bickering like children and getting nowhere, because it shows that when you try to focus so much on who's right and who's wrong and butting heads and trying to find excuses to argue with each other, you will get nowhere. And the film ultimately gets nowhere. It ends and it's just up in the air, and they're just sick and tired of arguing, and they have no idea what's going to happen next.
When I was watching this film, a film that came to my mind was a film that came out in the 60s, actually, called Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, directed by Mike Nichols. Now, in this movie, it actually covers a lot of the topics that Carnage is trying to explore, which is, couples who basically have these ruthless games and they resort to childish tactics to basically get at each other. And I feel like something like that, though, did it better than what Carnage was trying to do. I felt Carnage was trying to say something on that matter, but wasn't able to resolve the issue, whereas with Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf did, actually.
From the very opening shot, I felt like the movie made a mistake. We come into this film with a couple parents that have come in, they're writing this document together, and then they're about to leave.
Yeah.
By doing that right off the bat, you are limiting yourself to trying to figure out ways to keep the parents there. But I felt like the movie really, really struggled to keep the conversation going. As soon as they're out the door, they say, "Oh, I killed a hamster. Oh, let us come back inside and talk about that some more." Or for instance, when they're about to leave again, and it's even more urgent, and they hate each other even more, and Christoph Waltz is saying, "I'm gonna get into this elevator because I'm sick of this conversation," and they say, "Would you like to have some coffee?" "Oh, sure, I'll come back for some coffee." What?
Yeah.
Christoph Waltz it wasn't his decision to come back for the coffee.
He did. They said
he was dragged along by his wife.
No.
Actually,
if you watch
he
that
did,
scene,
yeah.
you watch that scene. They're standing in front of the elevator.
You want some more coffee? Some real coffee?
Coffee. Thank you.
Coffee, all right.
Now you f***ed up!
Nate, what did you think of Carnage?
I've kind of seen this topic done before in other like plays and other films, and I've seen it done better. I felt like it was trying to do it again, and because of that, I was just comparing it.
So you would give this a non-recommendation? You would not recommend it?
I would recommend other movies. That's the thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend this one. If people wanted to see a movie like this, I'd say, well, watch Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. But I wouldn't recommend this one.
I'm a little conflicted because there were some things that I really appreciated, theme-wise, thematically. But there were quite a few things that bugged me about it also from more of a technical standpoint, primarily the writing and some of the delivery of the lines. I bet you I love the play. I bet if I saw this on stage, I'd probably really, really enjoy this a lot.
Yeah.
As a straight-to-film adaptation, it feels very forced, very contrived, very unnatural, despite some of the themes in there that I found really interesting.
Okay, so obviously I'd recommend it. But as much as I've fought for the film, it's not great by kind of any means. But overall, I do like it. I do like how simple it is. It's just four people in a room just talking. One thing that we didn't mention, and I think that works to the film's credit, is it's not even an hour and a half long. It's an hour and 20 minutes. Even if you start watching it and you don't end up liking it, you're not going to have to sit through an entirely like a 2-hour long film of people talking.
It isn't boring. It is a very quick watch. I will give you that. So if you want to gamble on the film, whether you like it or not, you don't really have a whole lot to lose.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm actually kind of glad that we actually were able to come to an agreement with this film and settle it like adults. That we don't resort to any kind of childish tactics. We're mature enough to actually have a good argument and not let that get between us being friends, right?
You
Don't you ever go with that!
Alex, tell people to subscribe to our channel.
Hey, you should subscribe to our channel because
Why?
I was in the middle of saying that. Because we make good videos. We have podcasts that you should listen to as well.
Just download them into your Gizmo, and you can listen to us when you're like in the car.
I think you've had enough, man. I'm just gonna take that off from you.
If you subscribe to YouTube Red, you can download YouTube videos on your phone. Why is this an advertisement for YouTube Red suddenly?